Now this week I want to talk to you about branding. This will be a short video, but branding is so important these days because you need to stand out from the crowd. Now, not only because your customers need to identify who you are, but also, as you'll see in my webinars and seminars on recruitment, potential employees need to understand what your brand is, understand what your ethos is. So getting your branding right is probably more important these days than ever. We all know that our high streets are getting busier and busier and busier with more salons, more barbershops, more spas, day spas, beauty salons. So how are you going to stand out, and how are you going to get a message across without using layers and layers and layers of text? Well, first of all, when I visit a salon, they often tell me, "I'm fully branded, Carl, all is sorted." And when we really look at it, what they have is a branding identity. You see, this logo here, this big S here, isn't my branding, it's just my logo. And it's there to identify myself and the business easily. Because I know, now that you've seen this, you'll recognize that next time you see it at an exhibition or maybe one of my seminars, webinars, whatever. See, this face, you might remember it, but not always. And it's easier to remember something that's striking than it is to remember a face which gets caught up in the crowd. You know, some people may be like Richard Branson. You know, he's got fabulous logos like Virgin, and he's got a very memorable face. He might crack the market on both sides. But for the rest of us, we got to have a brand which is easily identifiable. So you shouldn't start off your brand with your logo. You see, if you was having a branding company, or even if I were coaching you on this, okay, and it's not my area of expertise, it's not my speciality, you would want a branding company if you're a big organization. But you can do most of it yourself if you're a reasonable size salon. You see, your branding isn't your logo. Your branding is what people say about you. What are people thinking and what are people saying when you're not around? What are they thinking and saying every day? When they pass your salon, what do they think and say? When they think of applying for a job with your business, what do they think and say? When they see your advert in the newspapers, when they see you on social media, what do they think and say? You see, that's what your brand is. You've got to have your logo and you've got to have your branding identity. Yes, of course. I mean, you take mine, for example, the big S is for Salon, and you don't have to guess what I do, hopefully anyway. It's called Salon Help, and that's what I do. I help salons. You don't need to make it complicated, you don't need to make it difficult, but you do need to realize that identity is not the same as your brand. So if you're working with me as a coach, you'll know that I talk a lot, certainly in our early days, about your blueprint. Your blueprint lays out everything about your business. It lays out everything that's important to you, why you set the business up in the first place, and what in the business represents you. Okay, so let's say one of the values you want to have is, I want every one of my clients to feel like a special guest. Well, that has to become part of your brand, so that customers and potential customers are going to feel special every single time. You take something like, you know, probably one of the biggest brands in the whole world right now is Apple. Okay, now they've got their logo for sure, you know, it's an apple, and it's changed a couple of times over the years, it's evolved a little. But they're not known for apples, and they're not known for their logo. What their brand is, you know, in a discussion, you know, I think something like 50% of all smartphones in the world, around 51%, something like that either way, are Apple iPhones. And their brand is fantastic technology that works. You see, when you're having this discussion with your mates in the pub, even if you disagree with them, the argument is, look, I've got an iPhone, it is the best phone of its type in the world. You're arguing on their behalf. They have managed to develop a brand that you have bought into and you are in support of. You see? So This is what we're looking for in terms of branding. It's not just logos and names and everything stuck across all your social media and your websites and everything. Although I do encourage you to ensure that, of course, your brand or your brand identity is spread across everything and it's consistent. But if you don't have one, let's say today, Carl, I haven't got a brand, I've just got my name up. I don't know, Mary's Day Spa, let's say that's it. When you start off with your brand, you've got to start off with the values. What is it that this client is going to remember you for? What are they going to say about you when you're not around? What are they going to say to you about their friends? So maybe you have got the most amazing setup, but is it that you have the fastest service? Do you have the lowest price? Are you an Aldi's? Or maybe you're a Waitrose, okay, in the supermarket world. Now, their brands are very, very different and the way they approach them. But they start off with their values and their brand comes out of that. You don't start off with your logo and then build a brand around it. At least there's not any businesses that I know do that, but I expect that some people have. So going all the way back to the reason I wanted to do this short video, it was to do with recruitment. Now, when you want to recruit someone, you got to appeal to them. You're selling. It's no different to selling your business to someone who you want to come and work for you as it is a customer who you want to come and buy your services. Okay, you're not going to give them a financial offer of a service. That's not going to work for recruitment. But you are selling yourself to these potential employees. Now, when you're branding yourself, and marketing, of course, when you're branding yourself to these new potential employees, what are you saying to them? Maybe you haven't got a brand, maybe you haven't got any identity, maybe you haven't got a message for them. Well, if you manage to get them interested in applying for a job for you, what's going to make them come and work for you? What's going to make them actually make that application in the first place? Because let me tell you what's the first thing that happens once someone knows you have a vacancy. So if there's a vacancy in your business, and I know thousands of you out there have them, what are these people doing? I know what they're doing. They're going straight onto your website. That's the number one thing they're going to do. They're going to go onto your website and they're going to see what's your brand, what's your message, why am I coming to work for you? Are you an award-winning salon? Are you the kind of business that's, really trying to progress? Do you want to be the best in your area? Are you a championship salon? Do you win a lot of awards? Do you win a lot of hairdressing championships? And you're branding yourself as that. Maybe you're not an award-winning salon, and maybe you don't want to be. Maybe you want to be the cheapest and fastest. But why does this person want to come and work for you? This is what you got to work out. Why do you want to go and work for maybe let's say I wanted to work for a car company. Do I want to go and work for a sports car company, something I'm very excited about? Or do I want to go and work for a truck and trailer company that moves, building materials around the country? For me, I'd be more interested in going to work for a sports car company. And so they have marketed, they have set a brand that says, wow, this is really appealing to me. So when you start your recruitment on this side of things, you've got to ask yourself this question. Why would someone want to come and work for me? What are their reasons? What do I tell them? What is the message that I'm giving them in all my marketing? In my branding, what am I saying to them? Come to me because, and sorry guys, but it can't simply be I pay more money than everyone else. That might work for a couple of people and it might work for a short period. But if you haven't got values, if you haven't branded your business genuinely, then they aren't going to stay with you. And that leads me to the second thing. Ask yourself the next question. The next question is, should I get these key members of my team to join me? What in my branding, in my marketing, in my business is going to make them stay? So let's say I want to join you as a stylist. I go onto your website. I see, wow, you've got a beautiful salon. Okay, you want to be cutting edge, you want to be the best in the area, you want to be the best in the UK. And look, they pay the best pay rates. I'm still going to come and work for you. What about their training? They do the best training. They train every week. They have training courses away from the salon. They're going to take you from this level stylist to this level stylist to this level technician to this level salon owner. Wow, this is great. I'm going to get a career out of this. They promise me fantastic surroundings, great pay, a fabulous career. Okay, are you getting it? This is your branding, guys. Of course, it's your marketing. Marketing is just a way of carrying your branding. Marketing is just your vehicle. And I'm speaking slowly today, unlike my Quick Coach TV, which is a bit like speed dating, because I want you to get this. This is so important for you to get more clients, because they're doing the same as well. They're looking at your advert, okay? They're looking at it through your marketing, and then they're checking you out. They're going to go straight to your website, straight to Google, and they're going to see, why do I want to invest my money and time in this salon? And for recruitment, it's exactly the same. So take a look. Have a look at your website. Have a look at your windows outside. Are your windows of your salon even clean? Can you see your sign? Have you got a letter missing? Have you got weeds in front of your front door? Has your front door been painted in the last 20 years? These are all parts of your branding, because if your shop is looking rough, if it's dirty outside, then to me, subliminally at least, I'm thinking they don't have a lot of pride in what they're doing. Your customers are thinking that, and so are potential employees. There's lots of great brands out there, and you can pick any of them. Coca-Cola is one. It's still probably one of the biggest in the world. And, they had a tagline, and we all have taglines as well, which was, I think, have a Coke and a smile. Now, I haven't seen it in their adverts for a long time, but obviously it was so powerful, I still remember it. So whatever brand you're going to develop, you need to make sure that the client understands and identifies with the values of your business. That's what your brand is. It's not a logo. Nobody's coming to you because your logo looks nice. People are coming to you because they believe that you have values that they want to share in, or they want to invest in. Okay. Now, all those things could be just honesty. Maybe they feel, oh, this is a really honest salon. It doesn't have to all be, it's a really fabulous looking salon, or they do things cheaply. It hasn't got to be really pointed. It could be that it's an honest salon. A lot of it will be to do with the personality of the staff and the owner as well, because the owner will have a certain personality which they put into the blueprint, and then the blueprint, which is your customer service standard and your training manual as well, will then make sure that all of your staff are of a certain standard, that they all have the same ethos as you. Okay, you can't build a brand if you got 10 staff and you all think differently. If you all don't agree on certain systems, if you all don't buy into, say, retailing, because I see retailing as part of branding and as part of marketing, then you haven't got a brand. That's all you've got is a logo with 10 team members doing their own thing. Okay, so I think that's enough for this video. You may want to speak to me about branding. I can't help you. It's not my area of expertise if you're rolling out a chain across the UK, but I can certainly ensure that your brand ethos and your brand imaging actually match up. So at the moment, if you've only got a logo and you've got no structure, you haven't got a brand, guys. You've got to get that brand, and don't forget, it's the brand that's going to get you more customers and more staff. Hope you enjoyed this week. It's a bit slower. It's about branding. It's important for recruitment especially, and I hope you enjoyed it.